this is I Do Damage and welcome back to the channel. In this Riftbreaker video, I want to talk about my first impressions and initial thoughts with the game. Before I do that, I need to disclose that the game is in fact in early alpha, and any footage and anything that I talk about is subject to change. None of this represents the final quality of the game. So what is Riftbreaker? Riftbreaker is made by Exxon Studios, and they're trying to mesh the ARPG genre with the base builder genre. And if you know me, I love ARPGs, and that's what really drew me into this game. So let's talk about how it really plays out. The first glance you take at this game, you're probably going to think, wow, this game is stunning, it's beautiful, and it looks sharp. And that is all true. The graphics are great. It plays really smooth on my Ryzen 9. I have very few FPS drops, but overall the experience has been great. The combat feels nice, and like I said, it's just smooth. I mean, it looks good and it's smooth. But let's dig a little bit deeper and talk about the combat in Riftbreaker. So the combat itself, as you can see in the footage, is very flashy. It's a little bit fast-paced. You have a melee weapon, you have guns. You can swap, you can hold up to 3 melee weapons and 3 guns at any given time. I've only ever seen 1 melee weapon in the game. Maybe there's more to come later, or maybe you can unlock more and more research and stuff like that. I've played with the flamethrower and the default gun they give you. It feels great. The ammo is limited, but you can fix that by building up more bases and things like that. The other thing I want to talk about when it comes to gameplay is while you're playing, there are special events that can pop up. There are certain ones where you maybe have to go kill a boss, or you have to go take down a nest that's spawning enemies that keep attacking your base. And the only way to stop those waves is to go and take down that nest. There's little fun events like that that pop up while you're playing. And the other really cool thing is if you're a streamer and you're streaming the game, your chat can actually interact and vote on things to help you out, maybe give you more resources, or they can do things like drop a tornado on your base, make it rain acid, things like that, take away resources. So I really think that that's probably the highlight of the game, is just the interaction that you can get with your community on this game if you're a streamer or a viewer. It's really a cool thing. All this sounds great, right? There's a few cons that I want to point out when it does come to combat. Is there's no HP bars on the enemies. And it's super annoying because you don't know which ones to target to take down first, and I would like to see HP bars at a bare minimum. The other thing is, and this isn't really a con, this is kind of cool, and I personally think it's kind of funny and makes the game look sweet, is all the enemies can swarm you. And when I mean swarm you, you can see in the video, you literally are swarmed. I clearly was not prepared for this fight at all. I mean, it's just insane. Maybe if I were to like do a full longer game and build up my defenses a little more, I'd probably be better off and get all the research and upgrades. But that's what I want to talk about next, and that is the building mechanics. Since it is a base builder, kind of a strategy game, it really reminds me of StarCraft, and I think that's a good thing. So we'll go ahead and talk about what is there, and then at the very end of the video I'll share my opinions and final thoughts and everything. I just want you to know what's in the game and kind of what to expect. So with the building mechanics, there's a lot there. You can build your headquarters, you can upgrade it, you can mine resources, you can set up things to mine automatically for you. You have to power your base, which is hella annoying. Like hella annoying. I did not enjoy managing the power whatsoever. And I think that's because of the UI. The UI, when you mouse over what your power, I would expect to see like just a list of what's consuming how much, maybe something I could switch off, or things like that, but there's no indication. It just like negative 100 power. It's like, what's taking up that much? It would just be nice to kind of see at a quick glance and a quality of life thing, and that'll probably come later on, hopefully. Other than that, there's upgrades that you can unlock for your armor, guns. I found one in my last playthrough where I got more health regen. You can get better legs for your mech that you can run faster, things like that. It seems like there's a lot there on the surface. I haven't dug really deep into the game because I just haven't really felt the need to. With that in mind, the last thing I want to talk about, I touched on it a little bit with the UI, is just the quality of life and the UI kind of overall, and this really is where the game needs some tweaks in my opinion. The HP bars on the monsters need to be there, especially if you're aiming for an ARPG type of approach. I really would like to see some sort of indication other than just the mobs flashing. I don't know, are they taking a lot of damage? Are they about to die? Things like that. Especially for bosses, when you're trying to dodge mechanics and you want to know like how soon until it's over type of thing. I don't think I really need to go on that. I think that's pretty straightforward. The other thing is HP bars on your buildings are not existent unless you're in build mode. And when you're swarmed and you're getting like overran like I showed you, going into build mode to check on the health of your HQ is not super fun, and it actually feels really clunky. So I would like maybe even just have an option in the settings to see all health bars. Anyway, that's pretty much it for HP bars. The next part is tooltips. And I really feel like there needs to be more tooltips just when you're mousing over the bottom left portion of your UI with your skills and different things. Like the icons are pretty straightforward, like a landmine, things like that. But I'd like to just see it on when I mouse over it. You can go into the actual inventory screen and see it all there. I just think tooltips would be a nice touch overall. So now that you know about Riftbreaker and the base building and the combat, kind of what they try to do with the ARPG twist, let's talk about my thoughts and how I feel about it. I personally found the game really fun at first because the graphics were really good and the combat felt really smooth. And it all just looked so pretty and it was fun to look at. But as I played, I kind of realized that the lack of HP bars and the lack of tooltips and other ARPG elements that you would typically find to kind of hinder the game in a way. And this game, it seems like they tried to do the ARPG base building thing like I said. It's definitely more base building, and for me, that's not too fun. I'm not a huge base builder type of person. I'm not very good at StarCraft, and that's totally fine. That's just me. I don't really enjoy the base building aspect at all. Maybe I'd enjoy it more if I could see what was consuming my energy and just little like annoying things like that. But even then, I'd like to see more combat, more mob diversity. I'd like to be able to jump in and upgrade my armor and have more options and upgrade paths available. And just have the game feed me more information so I know exactly where to go in the UI to find those types of things. Because as it is right now, I'm like, okay, I unlocked this. Then I have to go into my inventory. I don't know, it just could have been a little bit more straightforward to me personally, but hey, maybe I'll have a different experience if you happen to gain access to the game. And on that note, it is in closed alpha. If you do want a key, you need to go to the Discord that I linked down below, and they have a form on there you can fill out for a chance to get access. They're sending out invites in waves, so it's really just a waiting game. That's going to be pretty much it for my final thoughts. I really want to wish Xor Studios good luck with the game. Thank you so much for the opportunity to play the game early and show it off to the community. I had a lot of fun, and I know the community had fun killing me. I think if you ramp up the RPG elements a little bit more to my liking, and hey, maybe it's just personal preference, but I'd like to see more ARPG. Let's, skill trees for my characters, some more loot that drops instead of just resources and materials. Things like that, like just something to feed more to the ARPG aspect and kind of lower a bit down on that base building aspect. But then again, I've seen and heard about some of their previous games, and I know that's not really what they're about. They're really about the tower defense, base building, survival types of games. Totally fine. I think they're going to find an audience with this title, and I hope they do well. That's going to be it for this video. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.